Well, hello everybody. This is my Dodge Caravan 99. I decided to go ahead and check the rear brakes on it today, and I know a lot of you still driving these Caravans are great. They set up high and you don't feel like you're in a go-kart when you're out on the highway, but this is my 99 that I picked up for like $550, and it's got 176,000 miles, but the motor and transmission is great, and someone has actually put a new transmission in it, and it's a Jasper transmission. Yeah, how lucky did I get there? But it runs great. It's got some minor things like cosmetic things going on with it, but nothing to worry about. It runs great, but the pedal is only about half. Now I figured, gee, someone's cutting grass, I'm gonna have to wait a few minutes here, I think. Well, maybe not. The front brake pads, I found out, were almost completely down, and that is why I don't have much of a brake pedal. But our first suspicion was maybe the back shoes were bad, because I know a lot of times when you end up getting bad shoes on the back and they get really wore down, you can have a low brake pedal. But I checked everything, and I cleaned everything and sprayed it with some oil-based light brown paint, and you can see I got lots of good pad. No issue there. All the springs are good, and it took a few hammers. I had to hit it a couple of times pretty hard to get the hub off, and there it is. And I actually went ahead and painted it. Yeah, I know, I love to paint things, but the inside of the hub's in great shape, nice and shiny. Just a little bit of dirt. The vehicle sat for a while before I bought it, and I haven't found anything major wrong with it. Just like I said, I'm just kind of going over the brakes today, but I just wanted to maybe show you guys if you're doing a brake job on a Dodge Caravan. And I think this is from probably 1992 all the way up to 2010. They haven't changed a lot on the back, except some of the Sporter models, I believe, have disc brakes on the back. But there's a look at all the springs, and you can kind of see how they're set up there. And make sure you check your boot up here on your, I forget what they call that thing now. What do they call that thing? I'll have to put a header up on the YouTube channel here. Well, guess we're mowing, so I'm going to have to stop a minute. Alright, looks like the guy's done mowing next door. Always happens to me when I come out and want to film. Someone comes by, makes noise. Anyway, here's one more look at it in case you're missing a spring or you don't know how something goes back. This is how mine is kind of set up there. And you got a emergency brake release there, a spring going down there. Then on the bottom, you've got a couple pieces there, and you got a piece going across the bottom, and don't forget your little spring on the bottom. And you adjust this particular brake. There is a excess hole on the back of this piece back here, this plate, and you stick a screwdriver in here, and you turn. Let's see, this little guy right here. You kind of turn it. And if I stick my head back there, well, actually, you know what? I might be able to put my camera in the back and see if you can see that guy right there. Pop that out of there, and that's the excess into this adjuster. So there's one more look at it. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this hub on, and looks like it's pretty much dry now. When you got your brake off and everything, your hub off, and well, you know, if you're back here inspecting, make sure you turn your hub, make sure the bearing's okay. Shouldn't be hard to turn, no noise, and mine's in great shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this back on and probably go ahead and do the other side. And what I was going to say earlier, your rear wheel cylinder here, there's a technical name for this. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. But make sure your boots are okay. Make sure they're not torn. And it's always good to inspect those. Alright, so let me go ahead and we'll stick this back together. Alright, there it is. It's back on. Looks pretty good, don't it? Now, when you get this on here and you want to spin a little bit, you should be able to hear that brake just barely dragging in there. And also, don't get alarmed if you hear some crunching, a little bit of crunching. Sometimes dust and dirt gets down in there, and it'll get cleaned out as you start driving it. But there's one more look at it. So now I'm going to put the wheel on, and we'll go ahead and do the other side. I might as well show you what it looks like. Wheels on the ground, and nice and clean, and you can see the hub in there. And it's always good to clean up your hubs and take the wheels off and clean off the grime and mud and rust on the inside the wheel. it keeps it from getting out of balance. We'll talk about that a little bit more on the other side, so we'll go ahead and do that. And hopefully the rain is going to hold off for a while, and this guy may be done mowing here soon. Lazy bones. You going to help me? You're not going to help, are you? Figured. Alright, I got the wheel off, and it was kind of hard to get off. I had to use a little bit of a breaker bar on these 3/4 inch bolts. You can see how nasty it looks, but I'm going to pull that hub off and clean it up and take a look at it. And also, make sure you chalk the front wheel. I got a block up there, kind of keeping it up. And since this is front wheel drive, both wheels are locked into gear when it's on the ground. So now when we go ahead and take this off, I will have to take a hammer and probably hit this a few times because they do like to stick. They do like to stick. That's the result of living in the Northeast. Rust and salt. And lots of corrosion. Alright, we'll go ahead and see. Get this off there. That'd be great. Alright, we'll go ahead and take this off. Hopefully I got the camera kind of straight. Well, maybe not. Let's see. There we go. Alright, go ahead and take this off. Ugh. And doesn't look too bad on the inside. Nice and smooth. And boy, I got a lot of dust on my lens. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up too much. I'm going to have to probably clean up the camera. Okay, lens is now clean. Now here's what we're looking at. We got really good brakes, nice and thick. That's what we want to see there. We want to see a nice thick pad. Same thing on this side, all the way down there. The brake shoes look pretty good. Just a little bit of dust and dirt in there. So what we'll do is take a wire brush and clean up a little bit. And let's see, we'll just kind of scrape it a little bit here, kind of clean the dust off on it. Check your boots on your cylinder there, your rear wheel cylinder. And I got some just some regular old oil-based paint. A lot of stuff I buy at yard sales for like 50 cents, a quarter, and kind of helps out when you're doing things in the garage. You need a little extra paint. And one thing I noticed right off the bat, this right here is off on the emergency brake right here. So I'm going to have to kind of stick that back on there. So this is the whole point of the inspection. You want to go in here and look and see what's going on. So I'm going to have to stick that back on there. And I think all that is just the stop for the adjuster there. But there's a look at it. Give you a nice look at the setup there, the top spring. And you got a little bit of a hook there, kind of holding the spring down on the top there on that adjuster, which is kind of interesting. And there's the side spring, and on the bottom you got a couple more springs. Hopefully the camera's still focused and you can see it. And there's a setup on the bottom, a couple of springs, and the rod that goes across the bottom there. There we go. And a couple of clips on each side. But looks like I'll have to check that there and see what's going on with it. Then we'll start cleaning this up and sticking it back together. And here's the hub. What it looks like. It's not in too bad a shape. I'll run the wire brush on it. We'll clean it up, and it's going to look 100% better. All right, things look pretty good. There, it's all cleaned up. And that little spring I told you that had popped off right there, I just unpopped it and had to put this little piece right there back in there. And it actually kind of hooks up underneath it there. You can see how it kind of slides up in there and stays right about there. And put the spring back on. And it seems to be okay. It's just sort of a guide to keep your adjuster, I guess, in place. And you can see it looks pretty good all the way around. And one more look at the springs, how everything kind of goes in there in case you get confused. And also check your wheel bearing. we're in good shape, and pads look pretty good all the way around. I should say brake shoes. And there's the springs on the top side, how they go all the way across. And now all I have to do is go ahead and put the hub on, and there it is. It's all painted. Looks really nice, and I'm going to be pretty happy, so I won't have to worry about these back brakes anymore. And hopefully this will give you guys some idea if you're going to do a Caravan, the rear brakes, just some idea. There are a lot of guys on there that knows how, they have videos on how to change the shoes and all that. Since I didn't have to do that, I got pretty lucky, so I just figured I'd just kind of go in here and show you how to check and clean up. But if you have to do your brake shoes, then it gets a little more involved. I suggest you watch some videos and maybe take some notes. And if you're even going to change your brakes, set up a little camera and kind of document what you're doing. That way when you put everything back together, if you can't figure out where something goes, well, you can just go back to your video or pictures. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this on, and I guess we'll wrap this up. Oh, and by the way, I really didn't need much in the way of tools. I just had a few cans of different paint, some wire brush, screwdriver, pliers. Yeah, just your basic tools, nothing fancy to kind of do this job. But it's done, and I'll go ahead and stick the hub back on. And there's the hub back on. Looks pretty good. No more rust, no more corrosion. And other than that, all I have to do is put this wheel back on, and I'll show you one more thing you should probably do when your wheel is off. Just kind of go in here and clean up, take a wire brush, clean up all the dirt and rust, because sometimes this will cause your tire to be out of balance. Now this rim is not too bad, but the other side was pretty bad, so I had to clean a lot of rust out of it. But this one's in pretty good shape, so just go in here and kind of clean up, and that way you won't have to worry too much about your wheel being out of balance, especially in the winter, because ice and snow and mud and rocks likes to get in there, especially if you have hubcaps on your tires. And I don't usually take, in the wintertime, I usually take my hubcaps off because rocks, like I said, mud and crap gets in there and it puts your tires way out of balance, so I just run them just with the straight rim. If you paint them black on some vehicles, it actually looks pretty good. So go ahead and put this wheel on and we'll finish up. Alrighty people, it is done. There's the wheel, it's back on, looks pretty good. And you can kind of see that hub in there where it's been painted red. So that's a good indication that someone's worked on it. And I am good to go, so hopefully this will help you guys out. And like I said, I picked this car up pretty cheap, and it's been a very good car so far. I'm going to actually do a video later on how to buy a car and not get ripped off, especially a used car for under $1,000, because, hey, a lot of people aren't rich today, you know? I don't get it. I see people at Walmart driving these $1 million cars, and I seem like I'm the only one in the parking lot that has a 15-year-old car. I need to know the secret. But anyway, one last look. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Looks like the weather held out. Turned out to be a pretty nice day anyway. But week from today is November 1st, and of course it's going to turn cold, and I'll be inside most of the time. Looks like working. So thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.